Hello Cancer, welcome to my channel. This is Victoria at Radiant Moon Tarot, and this is your September 2021 love reading. If you are in a current relationship, or if it comes up a temporary separation from your person, then this is your reading. If you are single and looking for new love, please go and check out the singles readings that are already posted for you. If you are new to my channel, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm truly grateful for each and every one of you. Just a reminder, these are general readings. Not everything will resonate with all of you. Take what does and leave the rest behind. Also, if you enjoy the readings that I put out, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you never miss whenever I update my channel. First energy out for the month ahead, we have deep knowing, and we also have new life. Some of you are on the cusp of something new. Okay, and intuitively you may be thinking that there are some changes in the wind for you, and every relationship always goes through evolution, even if you have been with your person for a long time, right? Some of you are in newer relationships, some of you are very well established. And when we have a deep knowing, it could absolutely have to do with the connection that you have with your person. You just get each other. You just understand each other. You may know what the other person is thinking. You may just be really very much connected on a deeper level. And you may also be feeling as though that connection is evolving as well. You may also have a deep knowing within you about exactly where you are, where you're meant to be, and where you're headed. Some of you are looking to level up in your partnership, in your relationship in some way, a higher level of commitment. Maybe you're starting a new job, and that might affect your relationship, right? You might be starting a family. Okay, you might be in that phase where someone is retiring, or you're sending your kids off to college or university or something. So because we do have this new life energy that's coming in here as well. And the new life is really just about this rebirth, this wonderful new phase that is ushering in for you here. So again, higher level of commitment, empty nest, the next stage of something, and it's exciting and you're ready for it. And again, some of you already intuitively know, some of you could be getting engaged, right? You could be heading down that path. All right. All of this thing, if you have been going through a bumpy patch with your person, this might be the month where you just kind of get on that same page where, you kind of get a deeper understanding of each other and what you want out of life. So that new life energy is really very powerful. It is possible, we'll see what cards come up, because sometimes that new life can be like the birth of a new you, okay, and heading out, adventuring out on your own. But we will see what comes up, all right, because I'm not really getting that energy very heavily. It is just one of the other connotations with that card. So let's see what we've got for you. So benefiting you for the month ahead. Thank you. And we've got the sun. Look at that. The sun radiates energy and positivity throughout your month ahead. This is about fertility, success. It's a focus on the family, of being very happy, very joyful. Love blossoms and grows. Even if you have problems or obstacles along the way, you can resolve them in a very positive way. With the children on this card, again, you may be really focused on your family, growing your family, adding to it, blending families together even, or possibly even sending your children along their merry way to go and forge a life for themselves. So ultimately, incredibly happy card and very much benefiting you for the month ahead. And let's see what might be a challenge for you this month. And we have the Emperor. All right, so interesting. So as a challenge, okay, you might be in a situation where you might not necessarily be feeling a solid connection with your person. Someone may actually be exerting a little bit too much power and control over a situation. You could also be feeling a little bit out of control. The Emperor is all about leadership, stability, all of these things. But with this being a challenge, maybe there's something that is just a little bit off kilter. Now, this could have to do with anything, right? Sometimes even if we are in a really great relationship, energy ebbs and flows, right? And sometimes external influences can have us feeling a little bit out of whack, a little bit out of balance. with the Emperor, can sometimes be a entrepreneurial energy, okay? And because ultimately the Emperor, as a person, is very much a provider, is also a leader, establishes that authority. Okay, so someone may be exerting too much authority over something. Okay, taking the lead, right? You might be taking the lead and someone else coming along for the ride, or you're looking for someone to step up to the plate. But there could also be some career or financial things that are affecting your month. Okay, and it could very well possibly be, while everything is all, you know, very honky-dory and there's wonderful things that are happening, it could be that somebody is spending a lot of time in the workplace, right? You might own your own business, your own family business there. You know, someone just might be a little bit difficult to deal with in the month ahead. You may also be possibly dealing with a family member. The Emperor can quite often represent a parent of some kind. So there may be someone's family member or parent that you are dealing with in the month, and they're creating a little bit of a challenge. Okay, it could be, there might be some health issues. It could be some financial issues that come into play. You know, especially with the Sun card coming out, right? You may have some family reunion that you're trying to get to, and maybe something isn't working. Maybe someone's travel plans get waylaid in some way. Okay, but again, there might be some health issues with that person as well. You may even be very possibly just having a little bit of a possibly a stability issue in your relationship. Again, it might be financial, but let's keep going and pull some more cards, and let's see what else plays out for your month. Whoa, thank you very much. All right, and your overall outcome here, there we go. We have the World. All right, so the World is a completion of a cycle, and it's a transitional energy, and this is a very happy energy. It is a completion, but successful completion, right? And it's all about those cycles of life. All right, and you know, really, when we get the World, this is that you've gone as far as you can go in a situation, and now you're ready for the next phase, the next step, the new life, if you will. Okay, and you know, it's really carries with it a very exciting energy as well, because it is about that universal love. It's a time for celebration, sharing your bliss with friends and family. Okay, it can, again, I already got like a family reunion or something energy there, some sort of get together, and the World in this particular deck can represent anniversaries, weddings, those kind of things, where other people get together and everyone, you know, really is in that celebratory energy, because it can be one of travel as well. Okay, so you might just be feeling a little bit out of control in a situation. It could be just external circumstances, World energy, okay, that is around. But with this being in the upright, being positive, and being, one of completion, it is one of expansion as well. If you are trying to make some plans, okay, and it's not going your way, you might need to devise a new strategy, but the World may open up for you. Okay, so you might actually end up with some more options and be able to move forward. So with this Emperor challenging you, I feel this is a temporary situation. Okay. Again, you might have to go back to the drawing board for something. You may need to have a conversation if someone is like trying to take your thunder away, take your power away or something. You might need to do something to get that back. Ultimately, you get things back on track, however that is for you. Okay, if you're trying to make, again, some plans, maybe the Emperor being a parent, you could have a parent that is celebrating something, right? Again, like a silver anniversary, maybe, you know, something along those lines. And then you're having some issues with that. Okay, they might just be a little ornery. You know, sometimes that happens. Okay, but again, with that World energy, everything works out, and you're ready to move forward. You're ready to complete a cycle or complete a project or something. Okay, and you're ready to move forward. Again, we've got that new life there. And so any issues, any challenges, again, with that Sun, you are dealing with things in a very positive way. So let's pull the rest of your cards and let's see what else we've got for you guys. Messages for Cancer. The Emperor is Aries energy, by the way. current situation, heart of the matter, we've got the Four of Needles. There's your intuition, by the way, the deep knowing. Crossing the Seven of Cups. I'm going to pull all your cards and then we'll go into them deeper. The Ace of Needles is beneath you. Recent past, Judgment. Crowning you, Three of Needles. Near future, the Seven of Needles in reverse. A lot of thinking energy here. We've got the Fool. Look at that. The new life card is actually very reminiscent of the Fool. The Fool is starting something new, starting a new adventure. This is actually you. This represents you, your attitude, but also advice from Spirit. So, external influences, we've got the Eight of Cups. Hopes and fears, Justice. And your overall outcome, we've got the Five of Needles in reverse. And we also have the Four of Cups. So, a resolution to something, by the way. The Five of Pentacles, the end of a conflict. All right, so current situation, heart of the matter, there is the Four of Needles here, which is the Four of Swords. And this is the need to take a little bit of a time out, take a little bit of a step back to connect with yourself, to connect with your person even, okay? If things have been feeling a little hectic, a little bit frantic, a little bit overwhelming, all right, there is that need there to take a little bit of a step back, have a little bit of, maybe for some of you, possibly a timeout, okay? It can be where you go to think about things for a while, right? It's a little bit of a thinking energy. But this is also where you go to meditate, to connect with yourself, right? Where you really allow your intuition to rule the day, to show you the way forward. So some of you are on a bit of a break, or you have been on a little bit of a break with your person. Okay, that temporary respite from each other. Some of you have been maybe having a little bit of a conflict, an argument, right? We already kind of see that coming out there. And this four of swords here, the Four of Needles, can be about you guys just kind of dropping a subject for a while. Okay, kind of going your separate ways, not necessarily like a big breakup or anything like that, but like retreat to your own corner, so to speak, right? Like in a boxing ring, right? And instead of, going to the mattresses there, it's like kind of go back to your own little corner, just for a little bit, just to kind of, mull things over a little bit, right? But it is a very peaceful, calm energy anyway. Okay, so it's like, it's like when sometimes in times of quiet, when we think about things in a different way, that's when we get our answers. All right. So whether that Emperor is something within your relationship or something external, okay, there is a need to take a little bit of a step back in order to find your way forward, in order to resolve something. We've got the Seven of Cups crossing you. Okay. And, this is about having a lot of possibilities. All right. This can sometimes be wishful thinking. It can be a lot of choices. With this crossing you, there could be some confusion. Someone might be living in a little bit of a fantasy land, possibly. Okay. Because we put it up that way, right? Someone may be deluding themselves about something. All right. So it could be that you have some grand plan, some grand scheme for something, and there may be a need there to go back to the drawing board, to think about something a little bit differently, alter your strategy in some way, because with that Emperor being in your challenge position, the Emperor really does devise a good plan, a good strategy. But if something isn't working and isn't going the Emperor's way, what does he do? Back to the drawing board. Okay, so there may be a need there to do that in some way. Okay, so whether that's a business matter, a family matter, something between you and your person, okay, it's a little bit of a back to the drawing board energy. All right, but it is temporary. Okay, sometimes we also need to see the truth of something, because that Seven of Cups can sometimes be not just imagination, but living in a little bit of a fantasy land, right? Not just daydreaming, but like really fantasizing about something, and maybe not differentiating between reality, truth, and fiction, so to speak, right? Sometimes we can live in that dreamer world, and especially with challenging energies that are all around us, right? And if you're trying to travel somewhere, you're trying to put together some big celebration, you might have all these grand schemes, But the reality and what you can actually achieve and accomplish may be a little bit different. All right, and you're just trying to get something off the ground. So let's say you're trying to plan with the World card there. Maybe you're trying to plan like a big destination wedding or something like that, right? Again, we have weddings, anniversaries, birthdays, all of those things that can come up with that particular World card. And again, you might have this grand plan, this fantasy of what you want to put together. And there's a need there to adjust, to course correct in some way. All right, because, there's just something that may not necessarily work out the way you initially want it to. Okay, and that emperor here, okay, the emperor, once he devises a plan, typically a strategy, he'll notice right away if something isn't going to work out or if something needs course correction. But with that emperor in the challenge position, that can sometimes be a little bit more stubborn energy and of, no, I want what I want and I'm not going to change my mind, even though that might be a requirement in some way. The main message, though, with that Seven of Cups is, for one, try not to overanalyze something, okay? Because sometimes we can be way overwhelmed, in over our heads, so to speak, with that Seven of Cups energy. A lot of options, a lot of opportunities, a lot of kind of whirlwind, tornado-y kind of energy. And we can also sometimes overthink something, analysis, and we can spend so much time trying to figure something out that we don't actually ever take action. Or we can be really caught up in our own head, our own expectations, and we're not coming back to down to earth to see things for as they truly are. And that is preventing us from doing something a little bit differently, or finding the answers, or even getting something going, getting something started. Beneath you, we have the Ace of Needles. So ultimately, there is some help here, okay? There's a breakthrough at hand, but this is in your subconscious. Okay, this is beneath you, your underlying feelings, something moving you forward, something that has not yet come to your consciousness, something that has not yet come to the surface. The Ace of Needles is the Ace of Swords. So this is epiphanies. Okay, so there's something brewing beneath you there. It feels like intuitively, you know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly how to proceed with something. You know about what kind of conversations to have. You know how to articulate something, but you may be ignoring it. So there is this epiphany moment that may come in here for you, but you might be putting the blinders on. You might be you might be letting your feelings guide you, but they're topsy-turvy here. And when in actual fact, in order to move forward with something, you actually need to let your intuition, your communication, and your mental thought processes take over rather than your feelings, because sometimes we're just getting a stubborn energy and we want what we want. And we sometimes have a stubborn refusal to see that something can be done a little bit differently, or to see someone else's point of view. All right, so the hand of fate may really intervene in your situation here with this particular card, okay? Truth and honesty are courses of the day. Communication is key, okay? Using an intellectual process maybe rather than your heart may actually see you forward to solve something, and maybe even to make a decision. All right, and even though sometimes the Seven of Cups, it's, follow your heart, right? In this case, you may actually need to follow your intuition, okay? Let your brain kind of take over a little bit in that, okay? To get you your clarity that you need so that you can move forward, you can get past a hurdle, all right? Communication is the order of the day when we have that Ace of Swords or the Ace of Needles, because there is an opportunity to get past a hurdle. But again, communication is the key. Where are you going to find your intuition and your communication? By being in this quiet energy of the Four of Swords. Your recent past, we have Judgment. So there's something that has gone on, okay, that you have needed to bring something to the light. The Judgment card quite often is, that awakening, that epiphany moment. It can also be, seeing the truth of something, bringing things out of the shadow into the light so that you can see things for exactly as they are. It can quite often bring in a reflection of the past, of where we've been, okay, where we are today, and where we want to go. Judgment card quite often does come in when there is a need to let go of something as well. Fear, doubt, worry, all of those things, and yes, sometimes people. So yes, some of you are possibly in a temporary separation with somebody. Time is fluid, okay, as is energy. So this can be your recent past. It can also be today, but it can also be like a couple of weeks ago. It can also stem back like a couple of years ago sometimes, right? But judgment is also about reconciliation, okay, truth, reconciliation. And it's also can be about forgiveness and second chances. So some of you might be on a second chance deal with your person. You've already welcomed them back in, and you're trying to work through some issues here. Others of you, perhaps you have let go of some past issues that were maybe causing some strife in your current relationship. Cutting the ties, so to speak. All right. Some of you just have a deep inner knowing with the Judgment card and the deep knowing card plus the Ace of Needles here. You just have a deep inner knowing of where you're headed and of how to get past temporary upsets or issues that you may be dealing with, or travel plans going awry, things like that, right? You just kind of know how to deal with things, and how to move past problems, right? How to deal with things a little bit differently. All right. And that's why in this Four of Swords energy, instead of butting heads with somebody, if you're having a disagreement, you go, like a referee sending everyone back to their corner, and you might just have like that little bit of a deeper inner knowing about how to deal with someone or resolve the issues, the order of the day. Crowning you, we do have the Three of Needles, which is the Three of Swords. So there certainly is an issue here that you're dealing with, which has caused you to go within, maybe you and your person, okay, to go and think about something. The Three of Needles is the Three of Swords. So there's some sort of loss, some sadness, some disappointments that you're dealing with. Again, if you're dealing with a parent, that you're either maybe arguing with, or interesting. You may be dealing with a parent that has maybe possibly some health issues, maybe like I gotta say it like it is. With the Seven of Cups, can be about like fuzziness, delusions, fantasies, or something. They may be going through aging, like getting a little bit older, maybe, and some people they start to lose their memory. They like dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that. So if you are dealing with a parent that's going through some of those issues, that's certainly putting you in that energy of being really sad, right? And that's really heartbreaking, right? But there's but you, yeah, okay. You may be considering trying to go and visit them or spend a little bit of extra time with them, right? It could be an in-law even, okay, with that. It can even be interesting. It can even be possibly an in-law like from a previous relationship, maybe. All right, take that as that resonates. It's not going to be for everybody, okay? But you may actually get your wish there. You may get to travel if that is what you need, okay? And it may also just be a temporary thing, okay? Because we do have a lot of swords here coming out for you guys, okay, Cancer. A lot of swords, okay? So there certainly is something requiring mental clarity, mental focus, communication, the order of the day, all of these things. Very, very intellectual, and very, well, I'm not really surprised with the deep knowing, right? A lot of yeah, a lot of intuition is certainly required in your situation. Okay, so anyways, a lot of communication, a lot of thought processes, maybe even a little bit of mental anguish, right? Temporary though, okay, temporary. These are all temporary energies, things that you can work through, all right, and things that you can find out the truth about or have clear communication about as well. All right, but the Three of Needles here, there is something here that is just causing a little bit of an upset in your current situation, right? And something that you can't quite think about. Again, you could just very well be just having an argument with your person about something, and and it's just like, man, I don't want to talk to you today. Someone might be sleeping on the couch, all right, temporarily maybe, but yeah, they might be doing that. But anyway, there is a resolution of a conflict, so we'll see where else we go. Your near future, okay, we have the Seven of Needles, and it is in the reverse. So first and foremost, getting things out in the open. What do we say about this Ace of Needles down here, this Ace of Swords? Well, here you got the Seven of Swords in the reverse. So getting things out in the open, talking about something, getting things off of your conscience, off of your mind, right? This can sometimes represent a confession. Now, this can be you, okay, having a conversation with someone, throwing everything out on the table, getting everything off of your chest, off of your mind. What are you thinking about? What do you want? Coming to the realization that something's not working, something has to change. All right, having that little bit of a discussion. It can sometimes be, getting something off of your mind, off of your conscience, clearing your conscience in some way. With the Judgment card over here, it's a very interesting energy. With the Judgment card in your recent past, there may have been an ex or something that had at some point come back into your life, and maybe you didn't tell your person about it. And it's not necessarily that there's anything underhanded going along. Maybe you were just a little bit afraid of how they would feel about it. Okay, especially if you have a family member that is not part of your current relationship, right? It's from a previous relationship, and maybe sometimes we still maintain, we still have feelings and whatever for people that were at one point family, right? And just because you divorced or whatever, separated from, a person, sometimes people really do still keep in contact with their in-laws, right? And so if there's an issue in that particular family unit, it's causing you to be sad, maybe causing you to withdraw in some way. And with the Seven of Needles here, it's where you might actually, let your person know, right? There's a little bit of a confession, so to speak, right? Like just speaking the honest truth. And sometimes we hide things from the people that we love because we don't want to hurt them, or we don't want them to think that there's anything malicious going on or something like that. Okay, so there's certainly some things that are being revealed, things that are coming out onto the table here with that Seven of Needles in the reverse there. Okay, depending on what the subject of the matter is there, depends how it works out for you. Again, there is a resolution of a conflict that is coming in there. And possibly even an apology as well. Okay, so so it ends up working out well. It's just that sometimes our brains, sometimes our mind can really kind of overwhelm us a little bit, especially if we're ignoring our intuition. Okay, so but we do have Judgment card helping you there, right? That's that guardian angel card, Archangel Michael, helping you to release anything that has been holding you back, anything causing you negativity, anything that needs to get out in the open, that's bringing you those epiphany moments. Okay, and don't forget the Hand of Fate, good karma intervenes here. All right, and we'd also have the Justice card, which also is representative of truth and karma coming out as well. Okay, also has that Sword of Destiny and that Sword of Truth. So interesting, juicy. Okay, so but again, everything, it feels pretty good. And there may also be some of you that are, in this Judgment energy. If you are contemplating reconciling with a person here, this is spilling your guts. Okay, everything on the table. Okay, everything on the table, working through your issues. Okay, if that was your situation, right? It's like, okay, you know what? I'm willing to give you a second chance, but we need to talk. we need to work through some things. I'm not just going to welcome you blind. All right, so you may be in that particular scenario. But we've got the Fool. Now, this represents you, okay? It also represents advice from Spirit. And the Fool is all about new beginnings, okay? Free spirit, doing something fun, being a little bit of spontaneous. It is also a leap of faith. So it is also where we go after the world. So take the steps you're guided to take. Move forward if you're guided to move forward. Start something new if you're looking for something new. All right, we've got new life and we've got new beginnings. Okay, so the Fool and the Fool. And, sometimes we need to jump into something with both feet. And we just need to trust that no matter how it works out, that it will be for our best and highest good, that it will be in our favor, that at least we'll know how something was meant to be. But we never know that necessarily until we take the first step. And the Fool energy is one about taking that first step, not knowing the path that you're on, not necessarily even knowing where you're going to go, not necessarily knowing your destiny or your destination. All right, it's starting fresh, starting new, a new phase. If you're reconciling with a person, in or out. Okay, you're either all in or you're all out. Now, this could be your attitude, okay, towards your person. You're either with me or you're not. Okay, you either come with me for the ride or you can stay in my dust. All right, eat my road grip. All right. But others of you may also be in this energy as well. You might be looking forward to start a new life, right? There may be a lot of issues that you are dealing with your person, right? So it could actually go either way. As advice, trust yourself to make the right choices. Trust yourself to move forward. Trust yourself that things will work out as they're meant to. Take that first step. For some of you, the advice from Spirit here is to embrace the new life that is in front of you. Some of you are just going through a little bit of temporary ups and downs here. You're trying to make some plans to go somewhere. You're maybe sending your kids off to school. Maybe you've just got like a little bit of an argument going on here. These are all temporary energies right here in the center. All right, Judgment card is really helping guide you. Okay, Archangel Michael is represented by that. We've got some good karma coming in here with the Justice card. All right. And, sometimes we just go through a little bit of a rocky patch, right? But when we work through things and when we bring things out into the open, it's refreshing, right? We're like, okay, clean slate, wipe the slate clean, resolve our situation, and now we can really move forward. All right. So something a little bit better. All right. And so Spirit says, trust me and trust your intuition. All right, that you can resolve whatever you need to resolve, that if you do walk away from something, then you will be okay, and that you're exactly where you're meant to be. And if you are welcoming someone back in your life, jump in with both feet. Take that leap. If you've got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, it's not ever going to work. So it's an exciting energy that comes in with the Fool. Grab hold of that excitement. And then trust yourself, trust Spirit, and trust the process. And keep on trucking. Your external environment. We do have the 8 of Cups. So there is some sadness that is around here. The 8 of Cups is all about your inner journey, okay? But it can also be about walking away. It can be about introspection, but this is where your feelings really come in. All right, and with this being the external environment, right, again, I'm getting this energy, okay, especially with that Emperor there, that there may be a family situation that some of you are dealing with, that 8 of Cups, right? That you may be feeling disconnected from your family, because the 8 of Cups is that emotional disconnect. So, and with this being your external influences, right, this is what is influencing your situation. If you are dealing with family matters, you may not be feeling an emotional connection, right? Because maybe you can only talk to them on the phone, right? Or on a video chat or something like that. It's not quite the same as giving someone a big hug, right? It's not the same as being in the room with somebody, right? It's that emotional connection that you may be missing, all right? And, with this, the Eight of Cups can be about walking away. Yes, it can. Some of you may have disconnected from your person, and maybe you're looking forward to a new life without your person on your own. And again, because with the World card, you may have come to the end of the road, but ultimately, if it's good, it's good for you. If that is you, okay, it actually elevates you a little bit, okay, with the Sun and the World card, all right, and it actually feels like it may be amicable, okay, if that's you. But ultimately, you may also be feeling a little bit disconnected with your person. And with the Emperor, if your person is spending a lot of time at work or something right now, maybe they've got an entrepreneurial project or something like that they're on the go with. Okay, it just might be that situation where you don't have a lot of time for love right now, right? And that's not where your focus is, right? And that just has you feeling a little bit sad with the Three of Swords, right? And the Eight of Cups, right? It's just a little bit of an emotional disconnect. Doesn't mean it's permanent. It may just be very temporary, all right? Because ultimately you may have a deep inner connection with your person, and you might just know that, you know what, they're working on something that is actually going to better your life, all right? And, maybe they're about to wrap something up. With the World is about wrapping things up, new life, right? Got to wrap something up. And with the Fool, wrap something up, and there's fresh energy coming in. So it could be that you have been disconnected from your person, at least emotionally, for a while. All right, so we do have that there as well. Okay, so so certainly like a little bit of a lack of connection with some people. All right, and you know what? It happens, right? It happens, right? It's part of life. Your hopes and fears, we do have the Justice card here, and this is all about karma, truth, balance, harmony, all of those wonderful things. All right, almost like truth and reconciliation. This is fairness. This is, this is that the energy you put out is what you get back. All right, and really, as a hope, you are hoping that whatever it is that you have been working on, you're hoping that it works out in your favor. All right, karma is really the rule of the day, the word of the day when the Justice card comes out, and it's Libra energy. And we are at September 23rd, I want to say. Yes, I think it's the 23rd is when we enter Libra season. So it could be for the first part of September, right? You're going through some issues, some minor challenges there, some communication issues, maybe, all of those things. All right. And then we get, by the time Libra season comes about, is when we get things back in alignment, back in balance, exactly where we're meant to be. All right. But the Justice card is about that balance, fairness, that equality. All right. That truth, honesty, possibly even, with justice and judgment, possibly reconciliation. All right. And you are just wanting to find solutions, right? The Justice card ultimately is about solutions. Now, the Justice card can sometimes highlight contracts and legal situations as well. So again, in your situation here, there may be some legalities here that you're dealing with, especially the Eight of Cups, being disconnected, okay, and judgment, letting things go sometimes. All right, so there may be and with the Emperor, quite often a, divorced energy, male or female, and you may feel powerless in this situation, right? You're dealing with a past person, an ex-person. You're trying to get things wrapped up in a legal situation, okay? And you're just looking to be done with it. And it's just really starting to kind of drag on for a little bit, right? And you're really hoping that will come to an end, that will just come to its conclusion. You're looking to find those solutions. It could also be that you or your person, again, is maybe dealing with a legal situation, or maybe they're dealing with some contractual obligations that they've got possibly in their workplace, right? Entrepreneurial things, dealing with leases and loans and documents and all of those things. But it could be a workplace situation as well. But like we already said, that is keeping them away from the home. So ultimately, I'm feeling that you are pretty hopeful in that justice energy. It is a positive energy. It is a positive card. Okay. And, you know, you might be afraid that things won't work out the way that you want, okay, or that things won't come to a resolution in the time frame that you're looking for. But considering we've got the world, excuse me, we've got the world energy working in your favor as your overall outcome, the major energy shining a light on you. We also have the Five of Swords in the reverse, which is reconciliation, all right, which is resolution of arguments and conflicts. And then we also have the Four of Cups, which can sometimes represent a surprise, an apology, all those things. I'm feeling the Justice card here is really here benefiting you in your favor, and you're really actually maintaining a lot of hope in that. Okay, so that Sword of Truth, destiny, good karma, all of these things, and you've got that sword coming out twice. Your overall outcome, we've got that Five of Swords and the Four of Cups. So the Five of Swords is about reconciliation, truth, someone showing remorse, an apology, if you will. All right, getting things out on the table, perhaps a little bit of a surprise. All right, and you know, this Five of Swords is also about a compromise, okay, a resolution to something. All right, so when with the Four of Cups, yes, the Four of Cups can be one of contemplation. Okay, it can be one of being, nah, I don't know how interested I am. Okay, and maybe a little bit of a resistance to an apology. All right, but ultimately the Four of Cups quite often brings in a little bit of a surprise. Just when you are about to give up on something, boom, there we go. Everything works out for you in the end, but you do it. But there is a requirement there, which is probably why we've got that Five of Swords coming out with it, to keep an open mind. Not always easy, okay, to keep an open mind, see the potential in a situation and find your way forward, all right, and then make a decision, okay. But ultimately the Four of Cups, quite often when we least expect it, boom, that's when we get a surprise. That's when things kind of start to work out for us, all right. And there you are with your new life, your resolution, finding solutions. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there for you guys, okay, but I'm going to close out your reading with, apparently that, with a couple of Lovers Oracle cards here. Last messages, please. Last messages for Cancer, please. Thank you, and one more. Take that one too. So here's your first one that came flying out of the deck. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. Okay. And there's your next card. Don't make decisions based on guilt or what you think you should do, for it is only in being true to yourself that you can be true to others. All right. And there is your last card. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories that you have shared with those that you love. All right. Interesting energy. So I'm going to leave that there for you guys. I hope there was something in this reading that resonated with you in some way. If there was, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you have a fantastic September. And I thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.